Now it is.
Okay. Alright, hi, I'm Sarah. I am the local foods coordinator with Buchanan County ISU Extension and Outreach. And behind the camera is Shelby Schaefer's with Farm Bureau Ag in the Classroom. And we are here at Lindsay Dairy Farm in Masonville in Buchanan County. And if you would like to introduce yourself.
I'm Trisha Lindsay. My husband and I, along with his brother Daryl and Valerie Lindsay, along with their father Doug and Becky Lindsay, are owners of Lindsay Dairy. We are a third-generation dairy farmer here. We used to milk in a 4-stanchion parlor many years ago, and we've been at this facility now. It'll be 12 years here come December. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. If we have time someday, I'd like to take you down and show it to you, because it just would put things into perspective of what things used to kind of be like to what modern day technology has done. So,
Right.
yeah. Most daily operations start here in the mornings. We just got a new computer system, so I'm still learning it because I've kind of been in and out, but I've been told that the computer system's been a lot of fun to work with. So, basically on our new computer system now, what we're looking at, and something we've always done in the past, is we're looking for cows and their activity levels. This is how we're determining whether our cows are in heat or not. And so when we see like the 3 pluses here, that indicates that that cow is showing high activity. So then we know we need to sort her off during milking time and put her in the rail, and then she'll be serviced from there. One of the other things that we're doing with technology is our cows are being triple A'd. And what that basically means is we're scoring our cows on their body style. You know, do they need to be smoothed out? Do they need a little more dairy? Do they need to be more open in their ribs, or do they need more height and things like that? So we're actually taking some of that technology and using it that way to kind of better our future, so that way it just kind of helps with the milk production in the long-term set of things. So yeah, this is kind of where everything starts. So we are at milking right, as of today, we're milking right about 300 head. So we're actually up from the last time I did this video chat with you guys. That's capacity.
Yeah.
We're at max. Overall, we have 722 head of cows and heifers. Not everything is housed here. We've got 5 farms that our animals are housed at. So yeah, we're pretty busy. So we can start to the parlor. I don't have any cows to show you today, but I can give you kind of an idea of what it looks like. So we'll head this direction. Turn some lights on here for you. So this is actually called a parallel, meaning we can milk 8 cows on each side. So this will hold 16 cows at a time. We do have the capacity to someday expand it out to do a double 12. We'll see what happens. We just never know. When cows come in, they come in through the back down here, through this gate. So they'll come in through the gate, they'll come in, cows will turn, and they just have trained themselves that when they walk in, they'll turn, and so their udder will be back here. So then, once this is filled up, we'll close the gate again. We'll bring a dip cup up, and we'll dip each teat and get it cleaned off. This will stay on for about 10 seconds, and then once that's done, we'll take a towel, we'll wipe it off. The milker goes on, and once the cow's done milking, it just automatically comes off. Each cow varies as far as how long the milker's on. Sometimes it's maybe 5 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes. It just all depends on the cow and how fast she'll let her milk down. We usually switch cows, I'd say about every 15 minutes we're switching cows in here and bringing a new set of cows in. When the cows are done milking, they'll go to a post dip, and that is what helps keep the bacteria level down so that they're not getting infection within their udders. When the milk does come out of a cow, it does go into a pipeline, and then it's piped over to our bulk tank. I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. When the milk does come out of a cow, it's at 101 degrees. So that milk has to be sharply cooled down to about 40 degrees, and then from there it's even cooled further down. And that's per the regulations and stuff that milk has to sharply be rapidly cooled, because we don't want bacteria for some reason to start growing. So yeah, we'll head to the bulk tank room now. I apologize, this room can get very loud at times, so just bear with us. So if you kind of hear right now, the compressors are on, that means we still have milk in the tank, and the trucker hasn't been here yet, but the milk is picked up every day. This is our utility room, washer and dryer, any supplies that we need for milking. This is basically kept in this room here. All of our dips are kept in this room. And behind this closed door here is our bulk room. This tank here will hold 4,000 gallons of milk, and to kind of put that into perspective, 1 gallon of milk weighs about 8 pounds. So I'll let you kids do the math on that. The system is, the pipeline is also washed twice a day. So before each milking, the pipeline is washed, and it's all set up through an automatic system. Along with being twice a day, we have a filter that the milk goes through. It goes to a filtering system. It's just a paper filter. And what that does is it also helps to ensure that anything that may have came through is also filtered through, and it's picked up on this, and that's what also ensures that your milk is safe. So that's also changed twice a day. Now you guys are probably wondering, well, how do you know if you got a cow that's being treated? Well, we'll be showing you as we keep going that our cows that are treated, meaning they've got something going on with them, whether they get sick or they just had a new calf, they're tagged with red duct tape. So we know that those cows cannot ever go in the tank. No antibiotic is ever in your milk, so I know there's a lot of misconception about that, but there is never any. I think last year I heard there was, what was it, like 3% of the trucks that were shipped, that had milk shipped out on them, 3% of those were tested positive for antibiotics. But that means that 97% of your milk that was shipped from a farm was completely safe. So it's not only tested here, it's tested on the truck, and it's also tested at the plant. If they get to the plant, and so they pick up our milk, yep, this one's fine. If they go to another farm and they put that on the truck and they take a sample and they get there, they're like, something's wrong with the truck, they can go back and identify which farm that came from. So, yeah.
What happens when they identify that there is an antibiotic in the milk, what do they do with it?
That milk goes right down there in that drain. It never, ever enters the system. It automatically goes right down the drain. It's never entered in the system. Yep. It's a big loss.
Yeah.
Because isn't the farmer that put the antibiotics the one responsible for paying the rest of the farmers for that whole tank?
Yep, that's why you have insurance for that reason. Yep. The milk truck man will be coming. Right now the milk is sitting about 38 degrees right now, if you can kind of see, kind of give or take right now. This was from last night's milking and this morning's milking. So yeah, the compressors are still running to make sure it keeps cooled, and if you kind of hear that, it's still agitating. That's what keeps the milk circulating and helps also cool it down too. So yeah, we'll keep heading out here. This is the back side of the bulk tank, just to kind of give you guys another perspective of it. Over here, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that's what we call our commodity shed. These are different types of feeds that we put in our diet. Just like us humans, we have a balanced diet, cows have to have a balanced diet also, and that's what helps them produce milk. So we can take a look over here. The first bag we'll go to is called cornstarch. Just like what your mom uses in the kitchen, we use it in the cow's diet. It's based off so many pounds of what we're using in our diet. So we have a nutritionist. A nutritionist is no different than like a dietitian. They help us in managing our cows' diets. So we want to keep them as balanced as possible because just like us, if you're not having a balanced diet, something kind of goes off or you might not feel as well. So yeah, got that. This is our cottonseed. Another source of protein and fiber. This is actually grown here in the United States. It comes off a cotton plant. So this is what's left over after the cotton is processed. They'll take the seed and then we can feed it to the animals. So think about it. This cotton seed is the cotton in your clothes. So it's kind of a neat little thing too. Something different, we're starting to feed, we used to have gluten pellets, but now we're using canola. A little bit cheaper feed. Cost of feed has kind of gone up, so we've kind of gotten creative with our feeding to kind of help keep some of our costs down because the dairy industry has kind of been hurting with the cost of things these days. So yeah, it's another great feed source that our nutritionists help us find out. Ground corn. This is corn that we have actually grown. We want to make sure that, you know, the corn that we're growing, we want to make sure it's a good quality corn and it doesn't have a lot of yeast and stuff in it because yeast actually causes issues for cows. It could cause the cow to abort a calf or it could throw their diet off. There's just a lot of different things that yeast can really do to a cow. So we really watch that. And then hay, straw. Everybody's got to love straw if you can get it. There's, with the winter kill that we've had, the hay is really took its toll this last winter. So there's a lot of farmers that are going to be looking for hay. And it's not just only here in Iowa, but it's Minnesota, Wisconsin. It's nationwide that a lot of these hay crops got winter kills. So yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
What if you don't have hay?
That's a good question. Our nutritionist was just out and he was talking to us about different other ways that we can feed. So the hay that we do have now, we'll start feeding less of that, but we're going to use more corn silage to kind of help offset some of that. So yeah, that is our feed wagon over here. That's where all of our feed is mixed. It's no different than when your mom is cooking. She uses certain bowls and mixers to mix her food together. That's what it's like here. Because if you don't like let's say your mom is making a casserole and she's putting like green beans in there and you don't like green beans, well, cows are no different. They don't like certain things, so when we mix it all together, they can't sit there and pick it out like you and I do. So that's why we use a TMR mix. And that's what the TMR stands for, is a total mix ration. So yeah. We'll go this way. This is feed that we put up last year. So this was all last summer that we put all this feed up. That's 1 year's worth of feed. As you can tell, there's not too many piles left out here. So yeah, we need the drying season to dry out so that we can plant crops and so we can have feed for next year. So yeah, it's a cycle. We'll keep moving this way here. As you can tell, we've had a lot of rain here in the last week, so things are pretty muddy on the farm. Not only did we have a rough winter with it being so cold, now we're having a spring that's very wet. So everybody's very anxious to be in the fields and get crops going. We did replant 2 fields this year of hay to kind of help with our winter kill that we had, but it's going to take till probably July before we get our first real true crop of hay off. So and if I didn't say, we do milk twice a day here at this farm. We do have the opportunity to go more, but we choose not to at this time. We've had a lot of calves here in the last couple of weeks. Today we actually took a load of bull calves to market, so that they're going to be moving on. We don't have room to hold everything, so we choose to sell our bull calves, but we do keep all of our heifer calves. We do have one over here right now, a little one. Jody, can you maybe go get him up? We'll see if we can get the little one up. This pen right here, though, is our pre-calving pen. These girls are getting ready to calve, so they're usually about 2 weeks out from calving. Once they calve, we'll move them over here. We try to bring mom in here and give her a nice, comfortable place to lay, to have her baby. Once mom's done having baby and gets baby cleaned off, we'll take mom in and milk her out. What we're trying to do is get that colostrum out of mom, because that's very important to give to the newborn calf. They get a gallon right away for their very first meal. They get a gallon of colostrum, and it has to be high quality colostrum. There's been a lot of research saying that the colostrum that we're given, the amount of IgGs are in there, that actually shows that it's proven to be better health for that calf. So by taking mom and getting her in there, and getting good quality, we know that it's kept safe and clean. We can ensure that the calf then is going to get the proper nutrition that he or she needs. And also, by separating them again, we can also keep an eye on mom. If she's showing some signs of issues or something, we can take care of mom. Same way with baby. If there's something with baby, we can make sure that the baby's being very well taken care of. So, yeah. Baby doesn't want to get up, so that's all right. We got more babies that are active, and they like to come up. So then across the way here, these are our girls that have already had their babies. So they're in here from anywhere from 2 weeks to 30 days, depending on how they're doing. You see the red tape on their ankles? That's how we identify these cows that have had medicine, or if they have had babies. And so these cows never go in the tank. They get dumped in a bucket. Cows are fed once a day. I don't know if you guys can see here. So when you guys seen the piles of feed out there, this is what it looks like when it's all done and mixed together. There's your corn. The canola is pretty broken up. There's corn silage. There's hay in there. So yeah. Smells pretty good.
Yeah.
And cows are no different than us. They like something that tastes sweet. So to them, this is a sweet type of a feed. But yeah, they like it. We push the feed up as often as we can, because the more we push it up, that encourages them to come eat, which in turn produces milk. So yeah, each cow will go through just about 100 pounds of food a day. Each cow, and then she'll drink anywhere from 80 to 100 gallons of water a day also. So to put that in perspective, that's about a bathtub full of water. This pen right here can take about anywhere from 1,800 to 2,400 to 2,500 pounds of feed in this group. These girls have a little higher diet. They need more energy because they just got done having their babies. So we want to make sure, their weight is being well maintained, and they're doing okay. So we want to make sure that their feed is appropriate for their needs. Whereas these girls, we need to make sure that they have the proper proteins, minerals that they need before calving. Like calcium is a big thing. We want to make sure that their calcium levels are high, so their diet is according to what they need. So as we're walking along, you can see the feed, but their diets are where they're at in their gestation periods, and it's mixed according to their needs. So yeah. Something new since the last time you've been here is we got brushes for our cows. Don't step in the hair there. The cows get really itchy just like you and I do. So they'll stand up there and they'll itch themselves. And it also helps keep them cleaner. So just like you and I shed hair and skin cells, cows do too. They shed. So this is another way that they get it off. They'll stand here as long as they want and groom themselves. They just love it. Yeah. Girls. So this pen over here is our pen 1. This is what we would call our early lactation group, cows that are anywhere from say 30 days all the way up to maybe 200 days worth of 200 days in milk actually. So these girls are what we call our higher production girls. This group over here is our later group. They're our late lactation group, anything from 200 all the way up to 300. Just all depends on when they're dried off. That's what this group is.
What are the collars?
Yep, that's a good question. So if you look on the cows, they have these blue collars. That's what we call our activity system. That's how we determine when the cow comes in the parlor. It identifies it through the computer system, and that'll identify, hey, 1730 just came into the parlor. All right, she just gave, say, 80 pounds this morning. She comes in, nighttime, 1730 comes in. She only gave me 20 pounds, and the light flashes, and it's an indicator. That's not normal for her. So that's just a way to kind of indicate that, you know, hey, what's going on? A lot of times it's because they're in heat. If they're in heat, for some reason, they'll be good milkers in the morning, but by night, they don't come up and eat as much because their activity levels change a little bit. So that's what we're doing is we're monitoring their activity levels. We'll keep walking this way here. We use skid loader around here to move the feeds and stuff. Otherwise, it's a lot of time and by hand to push all this feed up. So we use a skid loader. Work smarter, not harder. Yeah. We do have 2 red cows on this farm. Otherwise, most of our cows here are black and white Holsteins. But we do have 2 red and white Holsteins here. And of course, their names are all red. It's the only way we identify those 2. We do have a few what we call crossbreds, but not as many that we used to have. She would be more like of a crossbred just because of her size and her coloring. We can just kind of tell. We just had a group of heifers come in. I couldn't tell you, maybe 20 to 30, and we got another group about 30 to 40 heifers coming in here in July that will freshen. So yeah, we're gonna be busy in July. I would rather calve in July because it's easier to deal with the calves. Yes, it's a lot of work, but it's easier to deal with them than it is in 20-below weather. I can spray a lot of fly spray to keep flies down. So the cows are in what we call a freestall building. So their stalls are kind of each separated by the bar. We use like a lime mix. It's like a sand lime mix, and the bedding that we use, it's for comfort, and it also helps with the bacteria level because it's got a balanced pH in it. So that's why we use this. Bedding is brought in just about every other week. We go through, we come in, skid loader, we dump new bedding in, and we make sure that each milking, they'll come in and they'll clean out the stalls in the back where the cows may have had manure and stuff. That's all cleaned out twice a day. So the cows are always kept in a nice, dry, try to keep it manure-free environment. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, just all depends on the animal. In the summer, when it does get really hot, we have fans. I don't know if you guys can see those. We'll turn these fans on, and that'll push a lot of air through here. And another way we can also help ensure that our cows are kept comfortable in the summer is we have a sprinkler system. That's what this is right here. So once the temperature reaches a certain degree here in the barn, these automatically kick on. They'll run for 2 minutes, and then they'll shut off, and then it'll move to the next pen. And it's just a cycle until that temperature drops or there's something else, we've shut them off, or yeah. But that's another way that we help keep our cows cool, because if you keep the cow cool, she'll keep her milk production up. If she gets too hot, she doesn't want to move, so she's going to back off on her feed and stuff. Cows are comfortable at 40 degrees, so this is actually ideal weather for the cows, is this temperature right here. Calves, though, they like it about 65 to 70 degrees. They're more comfortable at that, so you want to make sure we've got enough bedding for them and keep them dry and warm also. But no, cows they have that leather coat on, so yeah, 40 degrees, they're happy. Anything over 60, 70, they're getting kind of ornery because they're getting hot because they got that leather coat on. So. This is our dry cow pen. These are cows that are on vacation. They're in here between 45 to 60 days, just kind of all depends on them and where they're at in their cycles. And what I mean by cycles is where they're at in their, when they're due to calve and stuff. Days in milk versus calve. So yeah, these girls get to be on vacation. They just get to hang out and just kind of lay around and take the easy life for a little while. They don't mind it. They kind of actually enjoy it. But we do tape every one of these because we use medicine to put in their teats to keep the bacteria so they don't get an infection in there. So when they first come into milk, they're dumped in a bucket for 3 days regardless. And that also helps to ensure that nothing is also in your milk. Without that tube, we couldn't keep that udder safe and clean, and they would get an infection or a bacteria in there, so that's why we do that. I know they've come out with some newer technology. There's a lot of different researches on that. On this farm, though, we choose to use a tube of stuff to protect that quarters out.
How long are cows pregnant for? How long is their
9 months. Just like humans, 9 months. Their cycle is no different than us humans. Yep, every 28 days.
Okay.
Yep, 21 to 28, just all depends on the cow. Yep. Yeah. That's why my husband says, I know what's going on. I'll open up this door and we'll walk out this way. Because it was so rough this winter, we got creative where we started moving our calves. So we've actually got calves up here on the hill this year until we can get the other spots cleaned up, because we've had a lot of snow and you couldn't get to many places. So I'll open up the door. It's going to get kind of windy, so bear with me. So that's miles of line that we get trucked in. It's no different than sand. They bring it in by the big truckloads, dump truckloads, and they drop it, and then we'll take a skid loader and we'll bring it in and fill their stalls up. So yeah, can you drop that down for me? We've had to replace a couple of doors here. It tends to happen when you're backing up with skid loaders and you don't pay attention. Sometimes we all have accidents, but not a big deal. Nobody got hurt, so that's the good thing. Another way we help keep our cows comfortable is we have curtains. We have a curtain on top and we have a curtain down below. So if it's getting cold, we'll drop these curtains down, and that will also help keep the heat in there. But in the summer, we open these curtains up so that way they get fresh air moving through the barn. These are some of our babies that we've got. They're probably anywhere from born, let's see, she was born 15th of April. So she's a littler one. As you can tell, these guys are on bucket. They're not on bottle. But when they're usually on bottle for about 3 to 5 days, just depending on how the calf is doing. Then after that, we'll switch them over to a bucket. Once they're doing pretty good on a bucket, we'll give them a grain. We call it a calf starter. It's got molasses in it, which is sweet. Cows like it. That's why they like something sweet. But as you can tell, it's got some oats, some corn, and some nutrients in there to help them. So, yeah, these are all of our girls. This is how we tell if they're bulls or heifers, because we tag all of our heifers. Bulls we don't. So yeah, as you can tell, they're pretty aggressive and they're happy. Hi guys. These girls were born March. So these girls all the way down were born in March. These girls here are all starting in April. So yeah. We do dehorn our calves here, and it's for safety for us and for them. When they're about 12 to 24 hours old, we're coming out and dehorning them. That way they don't know what's kind of going on. It's safer for them and it's safer for us. So yeah. We do have another farm down the road. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's where we keep and do most of our breeding of our heifers, is at that farm. Those ones are getting ready to be set up for a breeding program. So they'll go through and they'll set that group up. And then once they become bred, they go to another farm and they just kind of hang out there until they're ready to be brought back here, where they'll calve in, have their babies, and they'll stay here for the rest of their life. So yeah. That's our bigger group down there. And then we have what we call the home farm, and that's where kind of, once these guys are weaned and they're off their milk and stuff, they'll go to that farm. We kind of, down there, we'll kind of take care of, you know, they need vaccinations, no different than you and I. They take a vaccinations, and they just kind of hang out there and grow. They're fed every day also. The only difference is they're not getting fed milk, they're fed a different type of a diet. So yeah. Do you guys have any other questions for me?
I think you covered everything. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
All right, well, all I can say is thanks for coming out. Oh, another little fun fact. Just so you know, in the stores, your whole milk is 97% fat-free. So I know a lot of people kind of said that to me. Well, what do you mean? So when we milk cows, it's based off of protein and butter fat. Our butter fat is no more than 3 point something. It can vary anywhere from 3.75 to 3.1. It all depends, but that means there's only 3% fat in that milk. So virtually whole milk is 97% fat free. So if you guys like the taste of it, go ahead, drink it, because it has been shown to have a lot of health benefits to it. Not only there's been a lot of research here lately that says it's great for cardiac and diabetics. Yeah, they're putting a lot more research that says, you know, whole milk is actually proven to be healthier for us. So I know not a lot of people like the whole percent, or the whole milk. So a lot of people will do 2% and 1%, and that the only difference is the amount of fat that's put in there. And other people ask, well, why is there sugar in milk? There isn't sugar in milk. Lactose is a natural sugar that's already in milk. It's a natural product that's already made in there. So that's what that is. So yeah, a lot of new research out there. So yeah, 3 a day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We love